It's all getting a little too close for comfort, with more and more media conglomerates becoming, well, just that. So what happens when everyone is sleeping in the same bed together? Joining me now from Austin, Texas, is radio host Alex Jones. And Alex, we just heard this report, something that kind of stuck out to me. Broadcaster Laura Flanders said, "We can't be reliant on military contractors GE to bring us our news about the war." Do you agree with this idea, that objectivity is just not possible?
Well, it's not possible, and it's not just that General Electric, of course, has a huge multi-billion-dollar per month stake in these wars that have cost over $1 trillion in the last 9 years to continue. It also came out 3 months ago that part of the secret banker bailout, the Federal Reserve bailout to foreign banks, also was to foreign corporations, and billions and billions of dollars to U.S. corporations, namely General Electric and its subsidiary MSNBC and NBC. So that's another issue, is that you have the old dinosaur media now owned by 5 or maybe 6 mega conglomerates, and they're really teaming up with the government and getting secret payments. So this came out 5 years ago. Famous cases of reporters being given hundreds of thousands of dollars apiece by the Bush administration. Armstrong Williams was one of the famous instances to go out and promote new federal initiatives that Bush was pushing. And this really exploded under Clinton, expanded under Bush, and has now just gone into warp speed under Barack Obama. So it's not just that you have these 5 to 6 mega corporations that have all these other corporate subsidiaries and they won't report on things that put them in a bad light. You have direct government payments of taxpayer money secretly being funneled to them. This is outrageous. And the biggest issue here is, as the public discovers that Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all these other big media companies and their owners are getting secret payments or engaging in propaganda, we've seen massive viewership drops on cable and broadcast TV and in newspapers. And you've seen sites like Infowars.com or other alternative media exploding. Just one of my websites gets more traffic than MSNBC and Glenn Beck combined, according to Google Analytics. And also Alexa. So they want to come in and start censoring the alternative media because it threatens them.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. I mean, on one hand, you're right. We do have so many options now in terms of where we can get our news. So many different marketplaces of ideas out there with the blogosphere, the internet. But on the other hand, as we said, so many of these networks and TV stations and newspapers, they're all sort of under one umbrella. So does this make it better for us or worse for us?
Well, it clearly makes it worse. And Google, it's now been admitted, was basically set up by the NSA 12 years ago with CIA funding through In-Q-Tel. Of course, I knew that 6 years ago. It had been declassified, but now it's all over U.S. News, the headlines. Google, NSA secret ties, under microscope, congressional inquiries. And now Google has announced that they're going to start filtering all the alternative, exploding media websites and foreign news outlets that are becoming so popular because they give a different perspective. Doesn't mean they don't have agendas, but there's a different perspective. And so now they're announcing the internet kill switch, FCC regulation over the internet. Senator Jay Rockefeller in one of the key committees says we would have been better off without the internet. So instead of just having something where the Egyptians shut the internet off in 5 minutes, like they did today, we have this slow strangling of the internet because the old dinosaur mega media is losing credibility and it's a government mouthpiece. And so they're now moving in with a perfect storm to restrict free speech. The internet is in danger.
I want to talk about this concept of a media empire. Do you think it's possible now in 2011 to build a media empire from scratch?
It is, if the alternative media is able to continue growing. I mean, look, I've got 30 employees, and I'm not exaggerating that Infowars.com, I mean, go to the major stat analytics sites, is dwarfing MSNBC and all of Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh's sites combined. One website that's got about 6 people working on it. Now, the final fraud and hoax is that they can sell advertising for $50,000, a minute on MSNBC, and my radio show has more listeners every 15 minutes than their top-rated shows. So that's another big hoax that's still running, in that I can barely fund myself, but literally I'm bigger than they are in many respects. They just have all the flash, and so it's a giant hoax, and they know people are looking behind the curtain now that the emperor has no clothes, and so they are openly announcing internet tracking, internet taxes. The White House regulations czar, Cass Sunstein, has called for banning, quote, conspiracy theorists. That's anybody that questions the official story. So the system is losing credibility. It's circling the wagons with government and the big six megacorporations to try to start curtailing alternative media because we are kicking their hind end.
I want to take a look real quickly at, some of the media conglomerates. Just real quick, though, we'll flash them on the screen. GE, Comcast, all of these things that they own. We've got Walt Disney, all the kind of companies affiliated with them, News Corp, and of course, Time Warner. Just real briefly, Alex, the implications of all this for the future.
Well, the implications are they're making hundreds of billions of dollars a year, in many cases for overpriced advertising, and they know they can watch the parabolic graph that the alternative and other new startup mainline media companies are beginning to cut into their market share massively. And so they're not just going to continue to feed us propaganda. They're all getting together and singing the praises of restricting the alternative media and the First Amendment in this country. So this is very serious, and we're seeing calls for Chinese-style net censorship in Australia, in Canada, in England. This is very serious.
All right, Alex Jones, radio host of The Alex Jones Show.